It is Super Bowl Sunday. Welcome to the Road to Millions, everyone. Andy, Corbin, and Steve from WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com. Big day's finally here. We're going to go down all the final lines on the props and the plays, and we're going to get you ready for the Super Bowl. And got to tell you, you guys absolutely crushed sending in videos of your Super Bowl plays. So we're going to show that towards the end. Positive vibes and Super Bowl plays from the audience coming in. Even believe it or not, Kelly in Vegas even makes an appearance. Sent one in from one of the casinos while she was out there yesterday. So awesome stuff. You guys did great. We're going to play those there at the end. So we're going to get right into the play. So just hit the like button, guys, and post a comment. Tell us what you're loving for the Super Bowl as your plays. Let's just start here with the touchdown scores. Steve, you caught fire at the pay dirt parlay. You've been the touchdown scorer guru, so what are you looking at for tonight's game?
So my guy tonight that I'm going to really roll with is Isaiah Pacheco, and he's been the guy that we went with for some time now. He scored in his last 7 games. 11 of his last 17 on the season. We've seen the 49ers held Jones out of the end zone, but Monty and Gibbs both scored, and Pacheco has had 24, 15, and 24 carries in the postseason, so he's going to get a lot of work. So at plus 125, he's my main guy today.
He even scored against the Baltimore Ravens. But they allowed like 6 rushing touchdowns all season, and right off the bat, he got right in there. So he can certainly get it done against against tough defenses.
I also have a great long shot as far as a touchdown scorer, and it's Justin Juszczyk. He's sitting at plus 850. And he's only scored twice all season, so it's just a sprinkle play here, a long shot touchdown play. Last week though, he almost scored. He got tackled right on the goal line, and he caught 2 of 3 targets for 33 yards. Chiefs are 28th in defensive rush EPA, and I think that we might see Shanahan need to get a little bit creative here when he gets close to the end zone. And also, Juszczyk scored against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl 4 years ago, and also caught 3 of 3 targets for 39 yards in that game. He's a guy that kind of steps up when the game's, in big game situations. So I would sprinkle him as well. He's a guy that I like at plus 850.
Love it. So this is a tough game because I think the defenses are going to be really good tonight. So I'm not really sure how many touchdowns we're gonna even see. So. Tough one for touchdown scores, but let's get there with Pacheco. We could start taking novelty props. Corbin, you've been scouting the coin toss. No, I'm just kidding.
Absolutely not.
Let's see. Any jersey specials? Either you like any of the jersey specials? Number of the first touchdown score? Anything? No, nothing on this one.
Whilst we're on touchdowns, I will say I found this parlay piece. Again, no idea which section it currently is in, but it's actually more touchdowns than field goals. Now, on the face of it, it seems quite obvious. It's minus 300, obviously for a reason, but feels like a great parlay piece. I'm expecting more field goals than some of the other playoff games, but again, field goals are not going to cut it in the Super Bowl. They're going to have to score here. They both have strong offenses, so many weapons. Last year's Super Bowl had 9 touchdowns to just 3 field goals. They met at the end of last season. There was 8 touchdowns and 3 field goals. I don't really see a world where the field goals come anywhere close to the touchdowns, really. So that's a parlay piece that I was looking at.
I like it. Cross sport specials. There was one that I was kind of looking at. It was De'Aaron Fox, points, rebounds, and assists versus Christian McCaffrey, receiving yards. I like McCaffrey in this one. Steve, have you noticed De'Aaron Fox is not getting rebounds and assists? It's all Domantas Sabonis on that team.
Well, he's stacking it up because he's like loading up on especially the rebounds for Sabonis. Yeah, Fox isn't getting much for that. They've definitely been running that offense through Sabonis, especially recently.
Yeah, so McCaffrey, if he breaks a long one, I think we're in great shape on this one, and I could absolutely see a hurry up moment like towards the end of the first half where he catches a few passes. So cross sport, I really like McCaffrey to have more receiving yards as opposed to De'Aaron Fox points, rebounds, and assists. Any opinion on the Celtics here, Steve? Going up against your guys' nemesis, the Miami Heat. We've got Porzingis, Jimmy Butler. I don't know. You got any predictions for that one?
No, I didn't really delve into that one. I've kind of just kept it to the straight Super Bowl stuff. I don't really I don't want to give anything out that I don't really love. So
Probably pretty smart. Probably pretty smart. So let's just jump into the main prop categories. We'll go passing props. Corbin, coming to you. What passing props are you interested in?
I'm actually interested in the Purdy over. I was umming and ahhing all week, but I think I really like this one. So he's cleared it in each playoff game so far this year. I think they're going to want to get him comfortable. Obviously, the dome conditions I think significantly helps him. There's no wind to contend with. There's no kind of weather at all, obviously, because it's in a dome. It's all kind of climatized. They let Lamar Jackson go over this total last week, who has far less options. I think it's going to be a close game. If anything, I actually think the 49ers could be behind here. I quite like the Chiefs. So at 249.5, I think it is passing yards for Brock Purdy. I think that's what I'm quite interested in.
Steve, any passing props you might be interested in? Completions, attempts, anything like that?
well, that's going to be interesting because I'm on the other side of the coin on this one. I'm on Purdy's, as we have been a couple times now in the past couple weeks, Corbin. I'm on the unders for Purdy. For both touchdowns and passing yards. We'll start with the touchdowns at plus 105. The Chiefs only allowed 1.12 per game. They held Lamar, Tua, and Allen to one each so far in the postseason. And only 2 of 7 sophomore quarterbacks in the Super Bowl have had 2+ touchdowns. Russell Wilson, Kurt Warner. So the history isn't good for Purdy in that one as well. And as far as the passing yards, I like that one even more, Corbin. They let Jackson throw for 272, but they held Tua and Allen both under 200. Purdy kind of just snuck past that total against the Lions defense and the Packers defense. The Lions especially, though, that pass defense is not nearly as good as the Chiefs. And then on top of that, Purdy only completed under 20 completions per game. The Chiefs ranked third with only 9.9 yards allowed per completion. So and also they rank 6th in missed tackles. So they're going to be able to kind of limit those long gains. I feel like those short passes that go to McCaffrey, he might not break those and get those additional yards. And then with them limiting as many yards as he gets on completions, I think that Purdy falls under today.
Fight. No, I'm just kidding.
I gave that one out for free on the video already, and it's a client. The under 249 passing yard and a half passing yards is a client play for me. I don't have a problem saying it because I already said it on video this week, so we'll see what happens.
The only thing I will say is you mentioned the games where the Dolphins and Bills went over. Wasn't there weather in that Bills game, firstly? And then the Dolphins, weren't they without Waddle, if I remember? They only really had Tyreek Hill in that game, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, it was cold.
Yeah, that's the only counterpoints I would say to why those two went under potentially, and why Lamar went over, because he equally has no weapons. So
I would say this: you're right about the conditions, but I just think the combination of what I just laid out, and I'm sorry I lost train of thought on what my next point was going to be. Honestly,
I like the over 2.5 players to have a pass attempt. Deebo Samuel had a couple pass attempts in the regular season, and I don't know. There's something about the Super Bowl that just coaches have 2 weeks to prepare. They plan something weird. They see something special. They see something on film. Oh, let's try and get something in there. And then, of course, if you have, hopefully we don't have an injury or anything, you get somebody else come in. So I like the plus 164 total players over 2.5. to have a pass attempt on that one. So
I'm sorry, I get lost in my notes for a second there because I just had so many. It was the Chiefs. The way to get at them is on the ground. I feel like they've ranked 28th in defensive EPA, so I feel like they're just going to try to attack them on the ground and control the clock as well.
Love it. Let's go to receiving props. A lot of props in this one. Corbin, well, first off, pour one out for Mecole Hardman.
We can't play his under this
prop.
week.
Darn
Oh,
it.
darn.
My bankroll is so sad.
Do you want me to go first? Because I actually have one that I really like. So
Let's hear it.
I got it wrong. I got it wrong slightly last time, so I'm going back to Noah Gray, but this time I'm not going for his yards. I think it's still at like 12.5, 13.5. He had 2 receptions for 8 yards last time, so I'm going with the receptions this time. It's at 1.5 still. Minus 125 seems good. Yeah, exactly. He just flies under the radar. He's gone over in the last 2 playoff games. He's had 3 and 2 receptions. But what I also like is he's had his targets have gone slightly up. He's had 5 and 3 targets in each of those games. To catch 2 of those passes seems quite likely to me. He just kind of flies under the radar with everyone obviously watching Kelsey and Rice here. I think he can go under the radar. 1.5 receptions is really low, so that's probably my favorite receiving prop.
Like that one. Let's see. I was looking hard at this Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and it's 19.5. You just kind of go back and look at it, and although he's had some overs, man, you're just betting on that one big play. And I wanted to take him, and I just can't quite get there because if he doesn't catch the big play in a couple of those games, he comes under big time. So I'm just going to go back to Old Faithful. And I say Old Faithful. He's friggin', I think, what is he, rookie? Rashee Rice? like it's only been Old Faithful for a few weeks, but I think it's pretty amazing. And I've talked about Patrick Mahomes all week to not throw an interception. And a lot of the interceptions that Patrick Mahomes had was bouncing off the hands of Kadarius Toney, just receivers just completely screwing up. And so they just come to the table in the playoffs, which is we know who we can trust, and that's who's going to get the ball. It's people that are going to catch the ball. And we've seen Rashee Rice just succeed a lot. He's got the utmost trust in the Chiefs, and I'm not going to overthink this one. You're going to put the ball in the hands of your best players if you're Kansas City, and that's Travis Kelce, and that's Rashee Rice. So I know it's 68.5. It's a high total, but I just think he's going to get peppered with targets, and I think this is a San Francisco defense that is fairly overrated, I think. So I'm just not going to overthink it. Rashee Rice, best wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes as quarterback. Yeah, absolutely. I'll take 68.5. Steve, any receiving props you like?
This is the category I kind of have the least in, but I do have a couple of plays. I'm going to kind of buck the trend here and go under 6.5 receptions for Travis Kelce. You can get it at plus 114. He's fallen under in 7 of his last 9 games. Obviously he'll get targeted plenty, but I think he's going to need to help a little bit with the blitz here. I think the Chiefs will be trying to run the ball to control the clock. I think both teams are going to be doing that tonight. And the other one I would look at is Ayuk under for receiving yards. I know he's coming off of a big game, but we went over how strong this Chiefs pass defense is. And if it wasn't for that amazing, miraculous catch that bounced off the helmet last week, where 2 weeks ago, where he caught like the 50-plus yard catch, he wouldn't have went over. So a couple of unders there on receiving props for me.
Love it, love it. Let's take a look at some of the rushing props. Let's see. I think I don't know. For whatever reason, I keep staring at this Elijah Mitchell over 4.5. I think he's going to get a couple carries.
So do I.
Okay, all right. So Corbin, you're in agreement on this one.
I'm with you on this one. Again, 4.5. He only really needs 2 carries.
Yeah.
All it takes is McCaffrey to have like a slight twinge. You see it with his. I think it's his calf that he needs the massage gun on constantly. All it takes is if he has a big run, he's going to sit out for a play or two. I could quite easily see this going over 10, let alone just 4.5. So.
Steve, what do you think? You like any rushing props? You like that one?
Yeah, but that one actually does sound really good because it's such a low total. I like that. But my guy is Pacheco here. I'm rolling with him for my anytime touchdown. And I'm also looking at him for a couple of unique categories for over 15.5 longest rush and over 15.5 attempts. So for the longest rush, he went over in 9 of 17 games on the season, 2 of 3 in the postseason. And the 49ers have struggled to contain the edge. And they've allowed a running back to clear this total for longest rush in their last 6 games. And the Chiefs are number 2 on outside runs. So if the 49ers are having trouble controlling the edge, then I see Pacheco going over that total. I like him for over yards as well today. But for the over attempts at 15.5, in the postseason so far, he's had 24, 15, and 24. I think that the Chiefs will be running the ball to try to control the clock. The 49ers allowed Jones 18 carries, and then Monty and Gibbs, it's a two-headed monster. Neither went over, but 15 and 12. So you look at that, even if the other running backs for the Chiefs get in the mix, they're not going to get that kind of work share that Monty and Gibbs got for the Lions. So give me his over 15.5 attempts as well.
Couldn't agree more on the attempts on Pacheco. It was 16.5 earlier in the week. I'm stunned that it's moved down. I wanted to grab it at 16.5 because I figured it would be moving up. But, yeah, I'm with you, man. This is the Chiefs special. Just run the ball, and try and eat away at the clock, tire out that San Francisco defense. And, again, yeah, what are you saving Pacheco for? it's Super Bowl. It's got a long time to heal in the offseason. And, again, if you get in a situation where the Chiefs are up in the fourth quarter, I mean, that's just going to be a guarantee Pacheco run after run after run. So I love the rush attempts there. I think as stupid as it is with this game with all of these big names, I think I like Elijah Mitchell over 4.5 is my favorite rushing prop. It just seems way too low. Yeah, Corbin, there was that play in the last game where he landed weird on his shoulder. And, came out and Elijah Mitchell comes in and gets a few. So, yeah.
I will say I have 2 other props that are somewhat related. So, the first one is Christian McCaffrey to have the most rushing and receiving yards in the game at minus 180. He's just so deadly in both areas of the game, both catching the ball and running the ball. The 49ers have to get him involved here almost everywhere. He has to be there almost every play, pretty much. He's not... no one else is really going to get the same amount of volume both in both areas. You look at Pacheco, he might get there somewhat close on the rushing, but he's not going to have the same impact in the receiving game, I don't think. So that's one play that I like. And the second is the 49ers have the most rushing yards. Same kind of idea as what we've already mentioned. The Christian McCaffrey effect. I think he's going to have more than Pacheco. And then you look at the other options. Even if you were just to pair it up quite simply, I think there's so many more options. You obviously have the Deebo Samuel runs. We're talking about Elijah Mitchell having a couple. The Brock Purdy runs. I'm not sure the Chiefs have the same amount of rushing weapons or effectiveness. So, the Chiefs only had 89 rushing yards last game, 155 for the 49ers. I could see the 49ers running the ball a lot, so... Oh, Andy, I can't hear you.
Andy, you're mute.
Sorry about that. Let's get into some crazy ones here. Fastest ball carrier. Kind of like Deebo Samuel at plus 550. I mean, when you get all of these guys, I don't think it's going to be Pacheco. And I think if Deebo starts to break one long, I think he's got a great shot to be the fastest one. So plus 550 might be worth a sprinkle at for the fastest ball carrier. Again, we're starting to get into these where these are fun little sprinkle plays. You don't go too crazy on these. So, what was another one you like, Steve?
For like a unique play,
any play.
Well, so actually, I would love to talk about MVP, honestly, because I just did an article on that one, and I think I have a great angle on it. So you look at the history of the award, and it's a quarter. It's you. First of all, you got to pick the winning team. 57 of 58 Super Bowls, the winning team. The MVP came from the winning team. No surprise. The only player to ever win it on a losing team was Cowboys linebacker Chuck Howley. I feel like the Chiefs are winning today. So mark that down. And the top 3 guys are Mahomes at plus 125, Kelsey plus 1,200, and Pacheco, my guy, plus 2,500. Looking at the history of the award for positions, quarterbacks have won it 32 times. So if the Chiefs win, in all likelihood, Mahomes is going to win. So back up this play maybe with a little at plus 125 for Mahomes, put a little bit on him just to cover in case, he's probably going to win this award in all likelihood. But I really think this Pacheco at plus 25 is worth a sprinkle. And I think the key to the play is that you look at Kelsey, he relies on Mahomes' production. If Kelsey gets 2 touchdowns, Mahomes is going to have 2 touchdowns. If Kelsey has 100 yards, Mahomes is going to be responsible for those yards. Pacheco doesn't rely on that. If he scores 2 touchdowns and goes for 100-something yards, and it's a low-scoring, close game where Mahomes throws for a small amount, maybe doesn't throw for a touchdown at all, then Pacheco would be the guy. And at 25-1, he's had a touchdown in the last 7 games, and we mentioned the workload: 24, 15, and 24 carries the last 3 weeks. He's going to be the guy with the opportunities to get this done. I like him more than Kelsey. I think it's better value than Kelsey at 25-1.
Yeah, I mean, Kelsey's just a bigger name, in the spotlight, so that's driving what the price is going to be for sure. So yeah, that's a good one. 25-1. Certainly not going to talk anyone off of sprinkling a 25-1 that's got a shot to make it to the window. So, Steve, you and I both liked the 49ers under 24.5 when we did team total Thursday. I'm assuming nothing's changed. A little bit of juice has come in on it, so I think people are kind of on the same page, but we still like team total at 24.5 under for the 49ers, right?
Yeah, for sure. The Chiefs only allowed one opponent this entire season to eclipse this total, and it was 27 against Denver. That's really that's the main point of that play is that you look at it and the Chiefs defense just hasn't allowed teams to get past this. And I also just think both teams again are going to be trying to control the clock with the running game, which slows things down, and 24.5 just seems like a tall task for the Niners there.
Guys, go ahead and hit the like button if you haven't already, and leave us a comment. Tell us what you're liking for the game tonight. Corbin, you want to talk about some sacks props here for the team sacks?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite plays, quite honestly, on the boards. So it's the sacks for the 49ers to go under. So it's at 1.5, which I still like, but 2.5 at some books you can still get it for around -180, -200. I think that's a great parlay piece. It's probably as I said, my favorite on the board. So the 49ers run the 3rd lowest amount of blitz in the league with just 18%, which obviously, if they're not blitzing, it makes it way harder to get to the quarterback. I'm expecting them to play a lot of zone coverage and thus not getting much pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is so aware in the pocket, and he has so much great movement. He'll see the blitz coming. He'll see the guys run at him. He'll be able to scramble out of the way. He has so much speed. He's so hard to tackle as well. It's not just getting to Mahomes, it's also then getting him down, which is a huge problem. He has nice check down options in Pacheco, Kelsey, and Gray. Not sure if McKinnon's playing, but last time I checked it said he was likely to play, so that's just another running back check down option. The 49ers defense has also not looked that threatening since Young has arrived. He looks kind of lost out there on the field. There was even talk of him being benched for certain parts of the game, so that's just one less option, which kind of leaves Bosa, who's the main worry to this play. But at 1.5 or even 2.5, I can afford Bosa to have a sack, and this play still wins, quite honestly. Plus, they've had 2 weeks to prepare for Bosa, the way he rushes, so I think we're good on that front. Mahomes' playoff record is great in terms of not giving up sacks. Only 2 sacks in the last 3 games so far coming into this game, and they all came against the Ravens. He had 0 in the Super Bowl last year versus the Eagles. They played round 7 of last season, and Mahomes was only sacked once. And then this postseason, the 49ers have only sacked Goff twice, Love 0, and Stafford twice. So if you can get that 2.5, I think that's a great piece, quite honestly. So
I like that one. Steve, you want to start? Want to talk a couple kicking props?
Yeah, I have one that I really like a lot, and that's the Chiefs / Harrison Butker. It's listed as the Chiefs' longest field goal. So Butker is 40 for 42 on the season. He's 8 for 8 from 40 to 49 yards and 6 for 6 on 50 plus. Moody's a rookie. He's 7 for 13 from 40 plus on the year, and he hasn't attempted a 50-yarder since week 8. Butker also has the inside track on the playoff experience. He's had 18 playoff games, kicks at an 87.5% rate, success rate on his kicks. And I just think the Chiefs trust him more on these longer field goals. So I think that's a great play. I also think, the 49ers, we know they both have great defenses. So I think that they stop him on a drive and they get a long kick opportunity in Butker. That's right up his alley. Whereas I don't think the 49ers might not trust Moody to kick a 50-yarder.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust him at all. Absolutely not. So, I'm with you. I talked about this one, the San Francisco 49ers longest punt. I know 1 yard doesn't sound like much on a punt, but it was 56.5, and the 49ers punter can absolutely blast the ball. He's got several 62-yard punts this year. I would still play at 57.5. All you need is a drive that kind of sputters inside San Francisco's own territory, and he can absolutely blast the ball. So great conditions out there. Weather's not a problem, obviously no issue there. So I like the 49ers longest punt over 57.5 as far as a punt prop. Corbin, you like any kicking props?
I don't really have any kicking props. I was looking at any team to have a missed field goal, but because obviously for the reasons you've mentioned, I think Moody could quite easily miss one. The thing that put me off was it being in a dome. There's no weather conditions. They've had 2 weeks to get ready for this. I'm sure he's practiced in domes. I could quite easily see them also not attempting any kick from particularly far away for him to miss. So I'm not going to play it, but that was what I was looking at.
I mean, it's only minus 130 for will there be a missed field goal or an extra point. Kind of like that. Like Moody is not the most reliable guy in the world, so minus 130 is not bad. Steve, if you looked at this, the opening kickoff, will it be a touchback? For whatever reason, the people in my life are just gravitating towards this, and it's like split down the middle, which of all the props is the strangest one. Like some people are like, absolutely not. They're going to blast it through the end zone. Other people are like, well, over 50% of the time they return it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's one that I know in past years that's been one that we've looked at before, and there was 1 year where there was a good inside track where it was almost like not a lock, but it was a really good chance. I think I actually played it 1 year for it to be a touchback, but this year I just think the kickers are kind of polar opposites, to be honest with you. So it depends who's kicks it. If it's Butker. If it's Butker, he can boom it, you know what I mean? And if it's Moody, I don't know that's not one that I would mess with personally.
All right. Steve, you got any other props you want to go over?
I mean, just one more kicking one. I had to have a second kicking prop for my article. So, and it was it's the opposite side of not the opposite side, but the other punter to go over as well. 56.5, kind of for some of the reasons that you laid out with the great weather conditions. Townsend has went under in the last 3 games, but those were all outdoor games with some different weather situations. But on the season, he's 11 for 17. So back indoors, I expect him to go over 56.5 yards on his punt as well. I also expect him to get some chances because I feel it's a defensive game. So there'll be some punts for both sides.
All right, we're definitely going to get to all the viewer submissions here in just a second with all of your guys' plays. You guys did absolutely fantastic. Thank you for sending those in. All of them are just fantastic props, so we're going to play that here in a bit. Corbin, any other plays that you like for the Super Bowl?
I don't really have any other than the one I mentioned to you just before the show, which is Travis Kelce not to propose. I know certain books don't have it. Some books do. Kind of depends where you are. But I see it at minus 400, minus 500. I just don't see a world in which Kelce is proposing to Taylor Swift on the field this weekend. It doesn't feel like the right place, not the right time. Nothing feels right. So if you have that one, that's one I kind of like.
Like you said, they haven't even been dating that long.
Exactly.
The football season
There's no way.
is like 22, 23 weeks.
Yeah.
I got to be honest, there's no chance that she wants to be proposed
Exactly.
at a football
How romantic.
game.
Yeah. Should probably write a song about it.
She's sweaty and bloody and just all disgusting. There's confetti everywhere. Like, how sweet.
Feels like her worst nightmare, quite honestly.
It really does. It really does. So, a couple novelty props that I put out there. It was minus 200 when I put it in, but Usher to wear sunglasses during halftime. That's now minus 500. He wears sunglasses at least once in every show. I researched it. I could only find one time where he didn't wear sunglasses, and it was like pitch black. Like there was no lighting in the place, so he didn't. And then Taylor Swift under 28 and a half seconds being shown on live TV.
Love that.
Yeah, she averages 25 seconds being shown live. I'm not really sure she wants to be shown. And again, it's a Super Bowl. They have so many sponsors to get to and so many commercials that they got to do. I just don't think. I did see one like, will they show Taylor Swift at all during the halftime show? And I really wanted to play no, but I don't really know. They didn't specify like when it starts and when it ends. Yeah. So any gray area for those props, this is really important, you guys. Like you have to look at what the rules are on some of these props if you're doing these exotic props. But so Usher's not getting paid to do this. Like the artists do it on their own, and a lot of times they come out of pocket. How do you think Usher's going to respond if they're freaking showing shots of Taylor Swift during his?
Yeah, right.
be so pissed off. So I would say no. And I mean, talk about like being in the industry. Like surely Taylor Swift people have told them no. Like you're not showing Taylor Swift during another artist's like performance at halftime. So if you see that one out there, I would lay the juice on no. You're not going to show Taylor Swift during Usher's halftime show. So let's see. All right. Anything else, guys? Steve, Corbin, any other plays you want to get to?
I don't have anything left.
All right. Well, let's first off, guys, all of the Super Bowl packs are up. You guys know this by now. Wager Talk, ours is up. All the plays are attached. Steve, you've got Super Bowl play up at Sports Memo, right?
Yeah, I have a 5% play. It's my first one since the conference championships, and we cashed that one on the 49ers Chiefs tease. It includes all of my props as well. And, 38 and 27 last two seasons on NFL best bets.
All right, so let's take a look at the viewer submissions for plays, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to make you guys pick the winner. So let's take a look. Thank you to everybody that sent these in. You guys did absolutely fantastic. Let's take a look at who you guys like and what plays you like for the Super Bowl.
What's up, Road to Millions crew? Sack prop season's almost over. That's okay. We're going with the fullback. Kyle Juszczyk, number 44, over half a reception at minus 160. Chalky, but I like the play. We could also go over 4.5 receiving yards at minus 115, and why not a little sprinkle on anytime TD at plus 700. Let's catch the fullback in the Super Bowl.
Hey, this is Rob Lynch, and my best bet for the Super Bowl is Nick Bolton, under 9.5 tackles and assists. Guys only hit this number 3 times all season. Kansas City's going to want to hold the ball on long, slow offensive drives. He's not going to be on the field long enough to hit this number.
Usually I like to say kicking is for losers, but on Super Bowl Sunday, kicking is going to be for winners. Give me over 3.5 field goals. You guys should be able to find this one plus money.
Hi, Andy. My best Super Bowl prop right now is Javarius Ward over 4.5 tackles and assists at plus money. Patrick Mahomes has a clear tendency throwing to the left side of the field where that cornerback can clean up. Brandon Stevens had 9 tackles and assists last week. The week before that, Taron Johnson 6. Before that, Eli Apple 5. Before that, Awuzie 5. Before that, Hobbs 11. Taron Johnson again 9. Corey Ballentine 9. And Hobbs again at 8. I really love this trend, and I love this prop. Good luck.
All right, we're back with some props for the Super Bowl that I really like. I like Kelsey under 70.5 yards receiving at plus 100. I like Isaiah Pacheco under 67.5 rushing yards at plus 100. I like Niners alternate line minus 6.5 at plus 194. And I like Bosa MVP at 100 to 1 for this Super Bowl. Let's go. Let's make some money.
Andy, my man, wanted to get you a couple props for the Superb Owl. First, let's go with Noah Gray to have more receptions than Juwan Jennings, minus 120. And then something a little more fun, a little more long shot. Let's take Jair Brown to have most tackles and assists in the game at plus 6,600 at DK. All right, man. Good luck. Have fun.
I'm looking at a final score along the lines of 19-17 or 16-14 for this game, which leads me to two props that I found, both at DK, both at plus money at the moment. First one being for the game, more made field goals than passing touchdowns. I think both teams are capable of scoring on the ground, which means if there's only a couple touchdowns in it, like I'm thinking, that 3 field goals probably gets us there. Anything beyond that should be pretty safe. Along with that, I think the quarterback and the winning team probably isn't going to have a whole lot of touchdowns on their ledger, 1 or 2 at most, which means that it's quite possible a running back or something else could come in here. So there is a prop right now available that is the position of the Super Bowl MVP being quarterback or any other position, and I will take any other position also at plus money.
My best prop today, Kyle Juszczyk, plus 900, anytime touchdown, and I could give you stats, I could give you schemes, whatever. At the end of the day, doesn't this guy just look like the random person that scores a Super Bowl touchdown? I don't know. That's my guess.
All right, great job, guys. Thank you so much. I want to do that more often. So we're going to get back to bringing you guys on to join us on Wednesday to do our Unbreakable Sports Record Hall of Fame. So if you want to jump in, just leave us a comment. Tell us if you're interested, or you can just send me an email, bumprunsports@gmail.com. And we'll start getting you guys in to come and make the case for some Unbreakable Sports Record Hall of Fame. All right, Steve, coming to you. Official pick for the Super Bowl. Who you got, 49ers or the Chiefs?
I'm going with the Chiefs. I feel like it's their game, and I just everything as a Patriots fan, everything in my body as a Patriots fan wants me. I want to root for the 49ers, but I can't pick the game on who I want to root for. I can't go against Mahomes in the postseason, especially. This is the best defense he's ever had playing behind him, so give me the Chiefs on the money line.
Corbin?
I'm going the same. I'm going the Chiefs. For me, it's not so much the offense that's the problem. I think both offenses are great. I think Purdy's great. I think he could easily do the job here. It's more the defense. I've watched quite a bit of the 49ers defense in the playoffs and the end of the season. It doesn't look right. Something doesn't look right. I mentioned that I don't like them to get any sacks. I think they're going to have some defensive issues. There were so many times that they got even the Packers in like 3rd and long, and they still let them sneak in. I just ride with Mahomes here, plus money. I think the defense is going to make the difference here, and I think the Chiefs have the better defense, quite honestly.
All right. I'm going the opposite there, gentlemen. I'm taking the 49ers. I think the lack of weapons in the wide receiving game is going to be too much for them to overcome. I think it's a really, really close game. Too many weapons for San Francisco. As good as the Chiefs' defense is, I just think they're not going to be able to hold Debo, McCaffrey, Ayuk, and Kittle down for the entire game. There's just you got to focus on Pacheco, Rice, and Kelsey, and that's honestly about it. So 2 weeks for Shanahan to prepare. I think he comes out with a great offensive game plan. I got the 49ers with a very late win and maybe a late field goal cover here. So Corbin and Steve going with the Chiefs. I will take the 49ers. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the Super Bowl. Good luck on all your plays. Remember, it's just one game. You do not have to go crazy. Try not to be firing a million live bets if you're hammered at a Super Bowl party in the fourth quarter. Don't want to wake up and realize we made a bunch of bad mistakes. So let's lock in those plays, protect those bankrolls, and protect those profits. Good luck on your plays, and we'll see everyone next time on The Road to Millions.